Hey, Expert Layman here, doing a stream on guilds. It's sort of a companion piece to my last stream, where I put a link in the description as to why raiding guilds are so toxic. This stream will be in two parts. The first part will be essentially why you can't engineer a social system, whether it's a guild or an interest group or a political group or a society or a community. You can't create rules to prevent. Seriously. Every time I go to render, my card gets unhappy, and I'm not sure why. This is new. Oh well, I guess I will just what was that? I even brought down the resolution and the bit rate. It's very strange. I'll have to figure that out later. Oh, well, that could be why. I don't think I can make a change during the stream. Maybe I can. Okay, I'm going to try that. I thought since I was going to lower resolution, I could bump up the quality settings a little bit, but apparently it's not appreciating that. Sorry for the distraction. I should be back in game shortly. Oh no, it's going to open 2 instances of the game. Yeah, it did. Probably confuse OBS. So yeah, 2 parts. The first part will be explaining why you can't engineer a social group through rules to prevent people from being toxic. And then the second part will be what I would attempt if I were so inclined to do something that is virtually impossible. Because the quality of a group will always be relative to the quality of the people in the group. And despite how you set up the rules, the people will either ignore them or find ways around them. The will of the people, whether good or bad, will dominate your system. Basically, to summarize the last stream, it would be the people who want to be officers in a guild. The vast majority of them are people that have a low status. Now, they're not an authority over other people in real life, and they think that's very unfair. But in all likelihood, they've had such opportunities, and they have not been up to the challenge, typically because they just use it as a way to be dicks to other people, and then they end up losing that status, and then they're resentful they don't have it. And the game represents an escape from the reality where they are low status, which they feel is completely unfair. And they're in the game trying to make that right. Obviously not all of them, but many of them. Seriously. What did that last update do to my game? And it doesn't do it while I'm playing, only while I'm rendering. Huh. Oh well. Sorry for the no background. You know what I could do? I think it's this one. No, not that one. Yeah, sure. Okay, let's grab a window capture. That isn't quite working out the way I'd hoped, but it is better than nothing. Let's have something in the background. Just one of the raw abstract animations before I've made enhancements on it. We'll just leave this up in the background. I'm just talking anyway. The people... so essentially I would name the guild... Well, I have two different names, but the name I was thinking is No Officers, and that's the premise of the guild. There are no officers in the guild. Like, because you don't actually need officers to get things done. So what that would do is the people who are really just there so that they want to have officer status over other people, they are not going to join. And those are not necessarily the most skilled people. You would have, I believe, 5 ranks. You would have probationary. Above probationary would be an alt rank. And above that you would have member, which is basically everybody. But the special rank, which is not an officer, but is sort of a pseudo-officer, would be... I'm trying to find a good name, but I'm going with Angel right now. And above that would be the Guildmaster. The difference with this is... Angels are not just chosen by the Guildmaster. You would have on the Discord one page would be Angel... I had a word for this. Angel contributions. So it's basically sacrifices you've made that benefit the guild. You know, if you were to donate some very useful mats, crafting mats, or things for the guild of significant value to the guild bank, that would be significant. Hell, just being a healer in the raid would be a significant thing. If you're leading raids for the guild, that in my opinion is quite a pain in the butt. If you're doing that is something significant. If you I don't know, if you manage the Discord, that's a contribution. And if you're just a person that goes out and helps people a lot, that's a contribution. And I would encourage everyone to post whatever it is that whatever sacrifices they've made to contribute to the guild. And, you know, this would be there for people to see. And if somebody helped you out, you would want to put a post in there. It's like, hey, this person really helped me out of this thing. And you just have this Discord channel that was just about, you know, what people, you know, sacrificed to benefit the guild and the people in the guild. And then on the first of every month, you would have a vote, sort of a vote. What you would do is you would have anybody who is interested in becoming a guild angel would be have their name put on the monthly angel vote. And you can like as many of them as you like. You don't have to like people you don't like, obviously. And I would choose a number of individuals. You know, you would choose a number of individuals based on population of the guild, like some percentage, like, I don't know, 5%, 10%, something like that. And the top, whatever percent, based on voting, become angels. Now, angels don't actually have that much power. What they do have is the ability to invite people to the guild as probationary. They are able to post raids on the Discord. And it's something I've gone back and forth on, but they would have the ability to, what do you call it? Bypass, because the raids would be simply sign up order and filling slots. And you sign up before other people, you get to go. But there are situations where if, you know, under-geared people, or for some reason, you know, you have like a tank that is like kind of your main tank for the raids, but then like 2 other tanks sign up first, but then like your best tank for getting through content is does not get signed up in time. The power of the angel would be to allow that one person in the raid to bypass sign-up order. So you can get the people into the raid that need to be there. Now, the way this gets balanced is if you abuse this, if you use it too frequently or you use it frivolously, this is going to impact your likelihood of earning the angel rank in the next vote. So you really don't want to exercise this power unless it's really necessary, because if you tick off too many people, you won't have the power next month. So since people are always going to want status, and since this is the closest thing to an officer rank in the guild, people are going to want it. And if it's based on, you know, personal sacrifice that benefits the guild, it's sort of almost like how capitalism captures this desire for status for the benefit of more than just the person, in that people are always going to compete over status. And if you make the name of the game economic development, overall, there's going to be a lot of darkness that comes with it. But overall, it will help most people a lot more than just competing over other things. So you kind of harness the people's desire for status for the benefit of the guild. And then when you get that status, you aren't like officer for life, which is what most guilds do. Once you're officer, you know, you just keep adding more and more officers, and the only way to get rid of them is through something fairly dramatic. But if you become a guild angel, and I'm also thinking about the guild name, you know, Better Angels, which is a sort of reference to a Steven Pinker book called The Better Angels of Our Nature, because I'm a psychology nerd and I like some of his stuff. But you don't have that much power, and the power that you do have will be taken away, will most likely be taken away if you abuse it. There's also the problem of people being assholes in the guild. And I think the best way to handle that is say, I'm not getting into the he said, she said thing. I mean, if somebody does something and a bunch of people witness it, obviously, that, you know, you have a preponderance of evidence of people saying, hey, this person got into Discord and started dropping whatever, whatever offensive terminology or just cussing people out or whatever it is. Okay, you know, if you have a bunch of people witness something, you know, that is evidence. But in general, as guildmaster, if someone wants me to take disciplinary action against someone, I'm going to need screenshots of the chat. I'm going to need, you know, if someone is being a dick, most people can record their game. So, record video and also logs. Because there's a thing people will do where, like, I've seen this many times, where a healer will be angry at a person or not like them or just want them to die or whatever, and they will just refuse to heal that person. And you can look through the healing parses and see, wow, you're healing everybody in the raid but this guy through the whole raid. And I think the best way to deal with that would be to contact, you know, if you have the evidence, you contact the person and say, hey, you did this thing. I've got the evidence. I'm going to bump you down to probationary. And obviously, if as far as raids, members are all equal, but they have priority over alts for the raid, and the alts have priority over the probationaries. So I'm going to bump you down to probationary, and you can either accept this, but if you wish to contest this, officially or unofficially, I'm going to be posting the evidence to Discord. So it is really your choice. And when I post it to Discord, it forces a guild vote on whether to kick or not. And that's probably not something you want, but it's out of my hands. I want to incorporate as much democracy as possible. Weird. The chat just reset. And I think this would avoid a lot of the downfalls. Now, there's this idea that the officers are officers because they are better at the game. But it's been my experience that a lot of the best players aren't interested in positions of authority. And a lot of the people, and I think another contribution, sorry to get off here, but another contribution is if you are an angel, you should, or you want to be an angel, and someone is, let's say, consistently parsing low, parsing gray, it would be a sacrifice that benefits the guild if you were to help that person, fix their stuff. But it's really not that hard to do a little reading and watch a few videos and fix your rotation if that's the problem you're having. And sadly enough, if they're not pulling their weight as a member in a raid, I don't see bumping them down to probationary, but they should not have the same rights to a spot as a contributing member. So if you often end up with people in the guild who are not pulling their weight, but nobody really wants to confront them over this. And I think it would bumping their main down to an alt is they still get priority over the probationary. Oh, and I want to say if someone's running being a raid leader, they are required to respect the raid sign up sequence as far as members, but it's their discretion as to whether they want to take alts or probationary members. Although I would think that you would prioritize guild members over pugging, but that's not necessarily something you have to put into place. And I suppose this is just my idea of what you could do to harness people's desire for the status of being an officer for the benefit of the guild and have consequences for officers, even though they're not officers. They're still basically officers. Also, I'd say there's no officer chat. That if you want that extra status of being a guild angel, you got to contribute, and you can't be a dick to people. This is the best chance, although I would not want to freaking run a guild. To be perfectly honest, that's a giant pain in the ass. I don't have the time for that. I would not want to be the guild master, even in a scenario like this. Just the amount of drama you get pulled into, like, no thank you, sir. Well, it's a bit shorter stream. I got to figure out why OBS is pulling massive resources for rendering. That will be what I do with the rest of my night. I think that's it. Well, if you're thinking of starting a guild, a lot of times it helps to have a core group of people that you know in real life, because then you could say toxic status junkies, which will often move into a guild and just start taking it over. They can't get a foothold. But I've also seen scenarios where the people know each other in real life, and then no matter what kind of messed up thing their friends do, no action will ever be taken out against them. And there's this like 2-tier class system where the people who know each other in real life are just above everybody else, and they always will be. And if those are relatively high quality people, that's awesome. If they're crappy people, or they're a mix of decent people and crappy people, where the decent people will not call out the crappy people, well, that sucks. And again, I'll go back to the thing. The quality of the people determines the quality of the guild, or whatever social group you're talking about. Well, that's what I wanted to get through. I am the expert layman. You all have a great day.